James here from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, bringing you a film breakdown of Florida's defense versus Kentucky's offense. As always, if you like this content, subscribe to this channel, follow us on social media, drop us a dono on Patreon where you can support our efforts to bring you this type of content each and every week, and check out the podcast each Monday where we bring you in-depth analytical content on the Florida Gators. Florida was rather successful on defense against Kentucky, which is not entirely surprising, despite the issues, obviously, that Grantham has that are well documented. He tends to do well against quarterbacks like Will Levis, who are inexperienced. They struggle to pass the ball accurately. Kentucky also lacks multiple options at the receiver position. They tend to primarily throw just to two players. That played into Florida's favor, and Florida's secondary and safeties continue to improve each and every game under the coaching of Jules Moltenar and Wesley McGriff. There's definitely a big difference between last year and this year. So this was a cleaner film breakdown for Florida's defense. Of course, there were some issues that still showed up, but all in all, Florida's defense did play well enough to win this football game on the road. It was the offense that let Florida down, not the defense, which is nice in a way for a change, but taking a loss obviously is never nice. On 1st and 10, Kentucky wants to come out taking a shot. They've stopped Florida. They're feeling pretty good. They're at home. There's play action, and they're going to try to go over the top. Now, this has been really nice to see as a Florida fan. For the past many, many years, Florida tends to see on the other end of the TV camera, you can't see what's happening, and then you see a receiver that's open, catch the ball, touchdown, right? Not the case this year. Helm here at the top of your screen is going to start off on him. He's going to take the proper outside leverage, funneling him to the safety, which is what you want to do. He then puts himself in a good trail position, except he's not trailing. He's on top of the route, which is really great. Way to stay on top of the route from Helm. Torrance comes over a little bit late, squeezing this pass, but this is excellent defense by Helm. Can't have a better start than that. Of course, Helm up and down, still inconsistent, but a really nice play there from him to open the game. Kentucky came into this game converting a really high percentage of their third downs. We chronicled this on the podcast. They finished this game just 1 for 9 against Florida. Florida did a fantastic job on third down, typically with 3rd and Grantham. That's not the case. It was in this game. They got lucky a few times in this particular play. It's just good defense. Florida's going to play primarily at the sticks, which I like. And as I've chronicled before, there are almost always first down windows, which is why better quarterbacks can make Florida pay. And that particular window is going to be right here. So here's Trevez, someone who shows up on film review pretty much each and every week. And Trevez is going to be well over top of that hitch route. Now, it's not going to wind up going there, but obviously Trevez goes off of your screen. He's not really covering anybody. This is wide open in here, but that's okay because this play is going here anyway, primarily because they don't see any defenders here. This is a nice underneath throw. It's safe. It's easy for a quarterback who's struggling to complete passes downfield. And let's see if we can't beat someone to get a first down. Unfortunately, this pass is never completed, and Kentucky has no chance to convert that. So Florida gets a stop on 3rd and 5. It's 1st and 10 for Kentucky. Despite the fact that Florida played well and Kentucky only had 7 completions, there were still a few things that Florida does that showed up on film that are consistent. So don't worry, this will warm your heart. It's 1st down and 10. We're on the weak side of the field. We're just going to have a nice, lazy little in route here. Here's your hitch route. Just a nice, easy pitch and catch. I like what's happening here. Line of scrimmage. This is nice. This is good, Cox. Way to get a little shove, redirect. But we're just going to give you that. I mean, the closest defender here is still 5 or 6 yards off. Helm is way off. There's Trey Dean coming in and missing a tackle, or at least getting the tackle. But, you know, that's tough to understand why Florida does this stuff. A safety's way off the ball here. Kentucky, of course, will take shots deep. They don't complete them often, but this is far too easy here. So, again, only 7 completions. You got to nitpick because it's film. You want to look at things and say, okay, well, you know, what's going on there? We've seen that before. It's not great. But in this particular case, 1st and 10 leads to another 1st and 10. 2nd and 3 for Kentucky. One thing that was quite different in this game was Florida was a lot more aggressive in the box. We've seen in the past that Florida's content to play their too high shell pretty frequently. They do not want to come down in here and stop the run. Well, here they are. They're down in here, but the secondary thing that really affects Florida is they tend not to get great downhill play from their linebackers. Now, they're asking Trey Dean to be a run-stopping strong safety, so he's functioning as an additional linebacker. But unlike what you saw on the Florida offensive breakdown with Kentucky, where they're filling these gaps quickly, Florida tends not to fill those gaps very quickly with their linebackers or their safeties. And that leads to these kind of gains on 2nd and 3, where Kentucky's just running an inside power run, and they're going to wind up converting 5 or 6 yards here. Again, right out of the shotgun, just running a little halfback draw right up the middle of the field. Good push from their offensive line. They're getting to the second level, and they're converting that rather easily, despite the fact that Florida is, in this case, in a much better pre-snap position to stop it. Florida up 7-0. Kentucky going to try to take a shot here on the 50-yard line. Florida's going to cover this well, taking away the first read. So each week I talk about the importance in college football of just taking away the first read. Many college football quarterbacks and teams really can't get beyond that. If you can scheme up the first read well, you're probably going to be okay. That's a good example of this here, as Kentucky is going to try to run an out and up. Helm on the bottom of your screen here is going to get an inside release from the number 1 receiver on the outside, and then he is going to run a dig route. He's where the ball should go. He is wide open on this dig route, but that's not where Kentucky's looking. They're looking at the out and up. There's your play action. He's going to snap his head around. Now he's revealing where he wants to go, which is to the out and up. That's where the ball wants to go. Helm is right on top of that. You can't see it, but there's nowhere to go. Then he comes very late. He does come back to this dig route, but it's too late, which is why he doesn't throw it, and he chooses to run. Now, of course, he does gain a lot of yards. You're watching on TV. You're thinking, that's great. What happened there coverage-wise, etc. In reality, as he improves, he'll open up, play action, back foot hits the ground. There's your head. It's not there. Immediately come to your dig route and stick it. He doesn't. And then, as Kentucky did all game long, they did a nice job of keeping Florida's defensive line in check at bay. He had some running lanes. They did not, of course, gain a lot of yards. They did not have a lot of success, but there were a couple of things they gave Florida trouble with. And you can see there, good pass protection led to Florida covering the first read correctly, but Kentucky still gaining a few yards. 2nd and 2, now we're going to get a nice screenplay for a touchdown. To Wandale, their best receiver, which we also chronicled pretty lengthily on the podcast. Just a simple little pop route here. Again, Florida has been more active recently, jamming the top of these. It's a bunch set that motions, which is nice. Of course, if you're jamming here and you're Trevez, you're getting blown up like 6 yards off the ball. Here's the line of scrimmage. He's already 6 yards off the ball, but that's all fine and dandy. Here comes Jason Marshall, who I thought played a good game. He's going to take the outside edge and force this back to the middle, which is exactly what you want to do. Even though this play is set up for Kentucky to come this way, there's no chance he can go this way and let him run around him. He has to funnel this way and hope that his team is able to rally and come make a tackle. As we often see with Florida, Diabate here, and not just Diabate, I mean Florida's linebackers, is not anywhere near close enough. Ideally, he is here. Now, why is he far away? Something I've highlighted before, seemingly each and every week. One, take a look at the distance here between these two linebackers. They're basically 1.5 yards apart, which makes absolutely no sense. This spacing is trash. You cannot be lining up like that. Secondarily, as Florida likes to do, they will frequently, despite the running back being here, blitz the running back, the linebacker here in front of the running back, and then ask Diabate or whoever this is, right? In this case, the weak side linebacker, to come all the way across to the strong side and take away a flat route, a wheel route, a screen, whatever else. That's precisely what happens here. Here comes your pressure up the middle. There's your A-gap pressure. And then here's Diabate, who has to come from here. Look at the distance he has to run to get over here to be the inside stopper. He's on his way. Now he's got a bunch of blockers to navigate through. He does not take a great angle. He's too high here. Of course, he really can't be right, because if he comes too low, he's got this exit valve. If he comes too high, he's got this exit valve. He's in trouble. Ideally, he would have been closer to him, which he's not. So Diabate, really the guy who can make the play, gets blown out of it. There's Dexter, who's close. Well, now we just need to mitigate the damage, right? This is already a big play. Mitigate the damage. That's what your safeties are for. Here's Trey Dean, who tends to be a good tackler but struggled in this game. He whiffs really badly. There's Torrance, who tries to come in and get the last one. He doesn't get it either. and all of a sudden, a little screen pass turns into a 50-yard touchdown for Kentucky. A little bit of bad leverage, and that's what you get. Despite Kentucky's low offensive output, I think they did put some things on film where they proved that you can run on Florida right at the middle of this defense. It can be done despite Florida's quality defensive line, and take a look at what they do here. They sew up Florida's front four on 1st down and 10, and then, as we've seen before, Florida's linebackers or safeties or whoever is in charge of making a stop, it can be either or both. In this case, here's a safety, here's a linebacker, There's just not a lot of block shedding, and there's not a lot of coming downhill. It's hard to make a tackle when you're going backwards. You're just riding a guy, and this is Diabate, right? There's Bernie, and there's Trey Dean, and watch them one more time. Again, they're linebackers. You want to see your linebackers come in here and engage this, fill these gaps, be aggressive, come downhill, fill the gap. Instead, it's very passive, and that's just an easy 7-yard game. Kentucky had quite a bit of success on the ground to this point. There were 3 or 4 more plays I could have showed you where they've gotten 7 to 10 yards rushing. In comes Hopper, of course, a guy I'm a big fan of. I wish he would get far more snaps at middle linebacker. I think he's Florida's best block shedder and tackler, and also downhill tackler. And here he comes here. He's going to get the benefit of not being blocked. That's always helpful. They're not going to block him, right? They're keying over here. This is where they're blocking. They're going to leave Hopper unblocked. He's going to come flying into this hole, downhill, wham, down, tackle. Now look, Hopper's the guy that you see most likely tackling someone like this. Fill the gap, hit the speed, make the tackle. That's what it's supposed to look like. Downhill linebacker play. Minimize the gains. Don't be passive. Hopper's a huge bright spot. He shows up on film each and every single week. Why he doesn't play more is a mystery to me. He got a lot of play in this game, but still, I think Florida's defense is better when he's out there, especially against the run, in my opinion, which is based upon what I see on film. 2nd and 9 for Kentucky, and they're going to try to pull a Florida-Georgia move here. Trevez has the back of the stack. I like this. This is good. I'm going to bring up all the things I like every time. My job on film reviews tell you what I like and what I don't like. Of course, it's my opinion, so take it or leave it with how you want. But you're going to get a motion across. Helm's going to stay down low. I like this. It's going to pull Trevez in. Now we're going to pass off everything. Everything gets passed off. We bump out here. We come down here. Everything is passed off. Trevez now is responsible for the running back. This play designed by Kentucky, much like what Florida did to Georgia, almost exactly is what they did here. Now Trevez is going to pick this up. He's going to sit too far inside. We've talked about this before. He's going to sit just a bit too far inside. And as they bring the running back on this wheel, he's going to be susceptible here to this slant route, which is being run right at him. So now he's going to get rubbed. There it is. He has to take a lazily slow angle here. A lot of stuff on the screen here for you. The wheel route's open. This ball is just terrible. So rather than this ball being thrown out here, where if he makes Trevez miss, it could be a touchdown, it goes for an incompletion and nothing. So nice play design there from Kentucky. Not a horrible job, obviously, from Trevez. Florida handled the pass off nicely. They at least had their assignments correct. But a nice play design, good rub route opportunity for Kentucky there. Missed from a bad pass. So again, 7 completed passes, in large part because if your quarterback struggles to complete passes like that, it's going to be hard to move the ball down the field. 3rd and 9. Bunch sets here, which we've talked about at length from Kentucky. Of course, they play a lot like the Los Angeles Rams with their playbook. Are they at that level? Of course, they are not. But a lot of bunch sets, totally opposite of Tennessee, where they're spreading Florida really wide. A lot of bunch sets put pressure on Florida to make sure they stay in their zone responsibilities correctly. In this case, they're going to try to run a screen. It is snipped out extremely well from Bernie, who's going to come downhill right away and make this tackle, and it's a good thing he did. You watch this play on television, you think, wow, what a stupid screenplay. You watch it on the All-22, and if Bernie is passive here and he's slow to get there, and this block gets to him, this is a humongous play on 3rd and 9. And you can't see it on your screen, but behind him here, you have Helm who's blocked, and you have a safety who's 30 yards off the ball and nobody else. So it's a good thing Bernie made that play. Of course, he's supposed to make that play, but good immediate recognition, beating the blocker. There he is, beating the blocker and making the tackle. And since I've been doing these film reviews, I talked a lot about how to play off-man coverage. and how frequently Florida has struggled with this concept. This is a really nice example of how to do it. We're going to run through the play and then show you what went right. This is a really nice play from Elijah Blaze. I've liked what I've seen from him on film. Of course, he's going to commit an egregious penalty that I will show you later on. But all in all, he puts nice stuff on film. And here is how you play this. He's backpedaling here early on. Off man, backpedaling, backpedaling, backpedaling. But as the distance closes, notice how he's not off my screen. If he's off the screen you're looking at, he's too far away. He's still able to come down on an in route or a hitch route, and now his momentum is shooting him forward towards this route as the ball's being thrown, which is going to allow him to make a play on this ball. That is fantastic defense. That's absolutely excellent. Great technique, great work there, Elijah Blaze. This should be on replay all week long in the facility. That's how you play off man. Really, really nice work. So something that continually plagues Florida's defense is the numbers game. So right now from Kentucky, you have 9 guys here showing run, and Florida's going to counter with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the box. So they're -2. Then you have a flex 8th, and then a safety here is 9, right? So you're -2 in the immediate box. This is tough for any team to handle, let alone Florida. And here comes Kentucky. Okay, great. We're just going to run this. So now we're not going to keep the quarterback here. So we're going to be +1. But +1 is all we need. They win the battle up front. Here's your unblocked man. Because Trey Dean is so far off the ball, by the time he gets there to make the tackle, he's already gaining 7 yards. Now, the question I always have is if you're going to play this way, why not have your strong safety start further down low until Kentucky proves they can pass? Of course, Florida did well defensively in this game, but again, schematically, formation-wise on defense, why not make a team do something they don't want to do, or just pass the football rather than give them a look they do want to have here on 2nd and 10, setting up a 3rd and short. Now on that 3rd and 2, we're going to give some more love here. We've seen frequently Florida would be sitting in a 2 high. They'd have many players far off the ball. In this particular case, Florida is going to play much more aggressively. I like what I'm seeing here. Torrance is going to be your single high safety. We're going to jam this here. We're playing aggressively here. And then Florida is going to come downhill. Look at the action from the linebackers. We're coming downhill. Here's Trey Dean. Here's our linebackers. We're coming downhill. We're going to fill these gaps. We're going to make a stop on 3rd and 2. We're not going to passively wait to be dictated to. And because of that, there's Moon making a nice tackle. There comes Dexter. There comes Torrance to finish it. And a nice stop on 3rd and 2 from the Florida defense, largely by putting them in a chance to be successful with, again, a good defensive formation. So sometimes we see Florida play these stack sets well. Here we have Perkins, again, another player I really like, despite the fact that he always tends to be looking to the sideline or looking to somewhere else to find out where people are supposed to be playing. No one has completed the pass on him yet, and he's an absolute dog on film. So get him some more playing time. Have someone figure out how to have him figure out what's going on or vice versa, because he's too good. But here's a stack set. I'd much rather see Florida get aggressive with this. When Florida's not aggressive with this, here is what can happen. Florida's always susceptible to this stuff. Here comes the easiest play action screen. It's a slant that turns into a block. There's your block. Now we got Perkins lined up, and now we're one-on-one versus Helm, right? Not a great situation for Florida. Helm has not proven to be a great tackler. He comes downhill pretty slowly, pretty weak sauce breakdown attempt, and that winds up being a big gain. Now, if we want to look at Helm's technique here, if you want to break down, this is not how you do it. Notice how upright he is, how wide he's chopping his feet. Just watch his feet here. He's coming in wide feet. He's kind of, really postures not in a low athletic stance. He's taking big, wide jabs. No chance to drive downhill and make a tackle. You want to come in low and athletic. You want your feet to stay inside your shoulders so that you're able to explode. You're able to explode left, right, or downhill. If you start taking these huge steps, standing vertically like he is, you have no chance to tackle someone. Stay low, keep your feet within your shoulder width, and allow yourself to gain ground comfortably without being out of control. chopping the feet so that you can come downhill and make a tackle. So a chance for Helm to watch that film and fix his breakdown technique. Second day for Kentucky. Kentucky's going to go again with a 9-man box here, if you will. Florida's going to counter with a lighter box, not 9-man, but Torrance is going to make a great play coming downhill here aggressively to blow this up. There's the toss. Here comes the attempted block on Torrance. Torrance going to do a nice job staying to the outside. Again, why are we pursuing outside? Because you want to turn this back to your inside defender who is unblocked. You need him to help you. There's your 2 help defenders. If Torrance takes a bad angle in here, he can take this outside where he's got a receiver blocking Florida's corner. As it stands, he does hold the edge, and he gets the tackle here. Nice job by Torrance. Excellent technique. Good work. 3rd and 4 for Kentucky. Florida, again, having an excellent day with third down defense and also showing some improved secondary technique. Let's focus on Jason Marshall here in his matchup at the bottom of the screen. This is where Kentucky wants to go. Florida has shown to have issues guarding the sticks in these situations as they tend to backpedal far too much, giving teams whatever they want. Kentucky has, of course, seen this, and they're going to run a combination that's given Florida problems. We're going to get a runoff here and a simple slant route underneath, or in this case, a hitch route underneath. So runoff and a hitch, right? This has given problems to Florida before. They tend to be too soft on these routes. And in this particular case, Jason Marshall is going to play this absolutely perfectly. First of all, he's starting off at the right depth. He's about 5 yards away, which is what you want to see. Second of all, he's not backpedaling. Take a look. He's only given up maybe half a yard, and that allows him to see this route bend inside a little bit. He's still not backing up. Look at where he is. And as soon as this becomes a hitch route, there's the body turn to the hitch. He's going to come downhill on it right here. Now, because of that action that you're watching, here comes Jason Marshall coming downhill. Right, because of this action that you're seeing here, he's going to come downhill, and that is why this throw is not made. He's looking at this. It's what he wants. There comes Jason Marshall. He pumps it. Ooh, I don't like that. He's coming downhill. That's not a safe throw for me. I'm not going to take that. I'll look elsewhere. It's too late, and Zach Carter gets a coverage sack. So great work by true freshman Jason Marshall down here. One more time. That's how you do it. That's how you play off, man. That's really, really good stuff. At the top of your screen, you can't see it here, but Trevez, who tends to not play this correct, disappears off your screen again on this out route here. He's a good 5 yards behind it. Had they instead chosen to attack him, they might have had a first down. They chose to attack the wrong guy. Of course, as Florida puts more and more defenders on film due to Elam's injury, teams are going to see who they want to go after and who they don't want to go after. And if Marshall keeps putting stuff like this on film, they're going to look elsewhere when it comes to who they're going to attack. We begin the second half with Florida up 10-7. This is not one of my favorite play calls from Florida's defense. We've seen them do this before. You're going to get a late rush from your strong safety, Trey Dean, and then an early edge pressure here, doubling the outside. You're just taking a lot of risk that you're right on this call on 1st down and 10. Kentucky has a good feel for this from Florida. They're going to run an inside run, which is exactly what you want to do. Now Florida has taken 2 players off the table. They're gone. And now the only one left here that can make a play is the only linebacker left, which is Moon. And Moon gets himself engaged rather quickly on the outside of this play, allowing a huge hole in the middle where this inside run goes for a bunch of yards before any contact is made. That there's just a bad play call where Kentucky had a good feel for it and made Florida pay. Now the second play of the second half, Florida caught in a bad play call here again. They're going to bring an A-gap pressure, and then they're going to leave wide open the route from the A-gap pressure. That's there if they want it. They're also going to leave open here this simple hitch route because Florida bails on hike to a cover 3, a static cover 3. They're just bailing out. Multiple routes available here for Kentucky. Easy pitch and catch, and another first down. Here's a nice play by Diabate. We talk a lot about filling gaps as linebackers. Here he's going to do the right thing and confidently read this play and then come downhill here to fill this A-gap. Inside run, fill the A-gap. Florida had been hit by it. They make the adjustment. In this particular case, they do not overload the edge. If you look at Florida's defensive linemen here, they're going to hold the edge. They're not flying up the field. They're not sending edge defenders. Kentucky was not threatening Florida on the outside nearly as much as they were in between the tackles. And that's where Florida counters here, and they have linebackers in the appropriate gaps, waiting for this play, coming downhill, making a nice tackle on 1st and 10 for a stop of no gain. 2nd down and 9, Kentucky's going to take another deep shot. We talked about how they take far more deep shots than Florida does, especially off of play action. There's your play action. Here comes your deep shot on Jason Marshall. Jason Marshall is caught looking in on the play action. It holds him for a second. He's going to get run past right here at the top of your screen, and that is where Levis is looking. Unfortunately for Levis, he just waits forever to throw this ball. Play fake, foot in the ground. You have everything you want. Let the ball fly. Let the ball fly. Let the ball fly. Again, hard to understand what he's doing there. By the time he lets this ball fly, it's way, way, way late. He never had this receiver. He was bracketed the entire time, despite the fact he's looking at him. But the one he did have is right here. And he's open, and they avoid, Florida in this case, avoids a pass interference call on Wendell Robinson, who's their best receiver. And he's going to win. You're going to see him right here. There's Jason Marshall coming downhill. He's faked out by the play action. That's why play action works if you time it up correctly. And now he holds him. There's a holding call. Refs missed that one. And now he's open. This ball's got to be thrown to this hash and deep. Levis is waiting. He catches back up thanks to the holding. And now we have some incidental hand fighting where in reality, that's pretty incidental there. This ball also lands way over here where it could have almost been a pick. So this is kind of a play where it probably should have been holding on Florida. As far as pass interference, probably incidental, but a better and more well-timed throw from a quarterback is either a completion or definitely a pass interference call. Either way, Florida dodges a bullet here on the 2nd down and 9. Nice coverage here. Nice make-up speed by Jason Marshall to get himself back into the mixer, but Kentucky misses an opportunity with that one. 3rd and 9 now for Kentucky. Again, they've been very unsuccessful. Florida coming out and playing man press. I love this. I love seeing this. Let's go, Florida. Let's do this some more, especially against teams with the quarterback that does not complete passes well. Florida is getting better at zone defense, which obviously Kentucky proved against Florida can be very effective if you run it correctly, especially as quarterbacks get confused. Sometimes throwing man can be easier because you say, hey, my guy can win, I'll throw it to him. Again, in college football, though, many quarterbacks lack the accuracy to consistently throw good balls against man defense. Here, Florida covers this up nicely. The only real place that he has to go at all with this football, as Zach Carter comes in on him, is right here against Helm. He does have a window to complete this pass. The ball just doesn't quite get there in time and on time. Helm here does an improvement. I like what I see here. He actually executes a crossbody jam, which you unfortunately cannot see. We've talked a lot about Helm just backpedaling and kind of getting stuck in bad situations. He controls the top of this route pretty nicely for a second. Unfortunately, the Kentucky player just shoves him enough as they're both jammed from each other that Helm loses the top of the route and allows for this small window to be there. And this window is there. You'd much rather see Helm in this position than this one, where he has space for the window, but thanks to Florida's pressure and the fact that the ball wasn't available immediately, Florida again gets another 3rd down stop. I think I'm obligated each week to show every time Florida handles these bunch sets the way that I love for them to handle it. In large part because I think it works really well. Here it is, bunch set. Rather than sit way off like we've seen Florida do a lot, we're going to put pressure on the top and we're going to hold our own at the line of scrimmage. It's even better if you can bump and hold your own here, which is what happens. And then Jason Marshall is going to come downhill like he's shot out of a cannon, showing no fear of Wendell Robinson, who obviously torched Florida on that screen. He's going to come right downhill. He's going to time this well, so he's within 3 to 4 yards by the time he catches it, not allowing Wendell to make a move on him. And you can see he has no time to gather his feet and make a move. Stick him square, put him into the ground. That's a really nice play, and good job by Trevez. Again, sometimes Trevez gets, not sometimes, frequently, gets the wrong end of these film reviews, but that's a great job by Trevez here, holding his own up top. He's going to point and let the Kentucky defender know that he made that play happen, which is true, he did. And again, on film review, we will give you credit where credit is due. You put good stuff on film, it's not hiding. We're telling the world about it. And that's it right there. Great play by Jason Marshall. Great scheme by Florida to attack the top of that bunch and not allow these kind of easy completions. 2nd and 12 for Kentucky. Of course, if you hold a team to 7 completions. You're doing a lot of things right. You're also getting a little bit fortunate on plays like this one. A nice play action from Kentucky. It sucks Hopper in. That's going to allow their tight end, who they rarely throw the ball to get open here on the flat. It's also going to allow Wendell Robinson to be open above him. Now, Kentucky had a couple of weird route combinations where you wouldn't normally imagine this being what you see. They're in the same exact vertical lane. Someone's probably not right there. This is an easy throw here, though. He's wide open. He's rolling to his right. This is what you want to see here if you're Kentucky, and this puts just incomplete here. This is going to be a first down. Hopper's in trail position, probably going to be a 20-yard gain on 2nd and 12, and instead it puts Kentucky in another 3rd down. Also, this ball could have gone over top here to Wendell and been even more. So Florida dodges one there. It's 3rd down and 12 for Kentucky. I'm going to go right to the all-22 on the broadcast. This is where Florida gets an interception, and this is a nice drop zone from Florida. We've chronicled this extensively. Florida's going to bring a 3-man rush into a max protect line. Kentucky goes max protect, sending just 3 receivers out initially and then releasing. So we get the quick max protect, and then you're going to get a chip and release here. Florida, again, dropping 8 here. They should have all these angles covered. An inexperienced quarterback. Just make sure we wind up taking away the most likely throws. And Florida does. This window, take a look at these windows. That's gone. That's gone. That's gone. And there becomes like this tiny little window where perhaps you could really drive one in here. That's going to be extremely difficult to do from that distance. Highly unlikely that you can. Levens chooses to try to drop one in over the top, throwing one over the linebackers and sitting this in here. That's an extremely hard throw. He sails it, and instead Florida gets a pick. The only real throw he had here was a check down throw. That's what you want if you're going to play zone defense on 3rd and 12. Is you want the check down to happen, you rally down and make a tackle. So it's really great to see Florida play good zone defense like this. Florida has struggled mightily to play drop 8. There's no doubt, again, that Wesley McGriff and Jules Moulton are having a big difference in how Florida's defenders are playing this. Also good to see Florida's linebackers here putting themselves into much better throw lanes. They've struggled with that in the past as well. So whenever I can see this, I will certainly highlight it. A nice drop 8 there from Florida. So we mentioned earlier how Blades had a really good technique and how he was appropriately distanced from the receiver. Now we're going to see an example where he is not. He's going to start off far too. This is too much gap here. Take a look at his off-man technique. Too far away. Why is he too far away? Because this ball is going to get thrown immediately out here, and as opposed to being here where you can make a tackle, right? You want to be in that radius. When he catches it, take a look. He's a good 5-6 yards away. That's too far. You want to be between 3 and 4 yards so you can make a tackle. Now you're 5 and 6 yards away. Now you're going to be dictated to. He gets dictated to. The most dangerous player, Wendell Robinson, turns it up the corner on him. He does a nice job to minimize the damage here. He doesn't just come flying downhill and whiff, which is not what you want to do. You've got to just contain now. You put yourself on the situation, contain, ride him out of bounds, which he does, and then he makes the mistake of shoving him right there, which draws a 15-yard penalty. So he takes a bad situation and makes it worse at a crucial point in the game where Kentucky's up 13-10. 2nd and 7 for Kentucky. Newkirk here is going to make an excellent play. Speed rushing the quarterback, and it's a good thing because Kentucky actually has a nice play on. They're going to give a little pump fake here. They're going to run an inside right over the top of this linebacker, just a little dig above his head. He is going to be wide open, but that's not going to matter because Newkirk is coming. There's your pump. Quick pump fake. He wants to look to the inside. You can see on your screen here he's about to loop around. Diabate and be open. Unfortunately for Kentucky, that's not going to happen because Newkirk comes in there and just says, no, I'm going to climb all over your back and put you down and take your right tackle with me. That's going to be a sack. Nice play there from Newkirk. 3rd and 14, you want to keep seeing these down and distances. If you're Florida, this is the kind of stuff you can excel with on defense. Kentucky does have something working on the bottom of the screen where they can effectively high-low, much like Florida did to Kentucky in this game. A couple of times you can high-low the safety and the corner, which they have. The corner is going to be responsible for the running back coming out of the flat, and the safety here is going to be responsible for the receiver. There is a window that Kentucky could have hit. He's not even going to look at it. He's going right the whole way. And on the right side of the field, Florida absolutely won Again, take away the first read, right? Like we said, take away where they want to go. Florida did. There's nowhere to go on the right side of the football field with this football. He escapes out of the pocket, attempts to run for the first down, gets too many yards given the situation. Again, he was successful in doing this kind of stuff. Too many yards, missed tackle there from Perkins, my boy, who comes low, which is nice technique. You don't always expect the quarterback to be hurdling like this. But a nice gain on the sellout jump and hurdle there from Levens in Kentucky, setting up a 4th and short. 4th and 2 for Kentucky on Florida's 35-yard line. Kentucky is up at this point in time 13-10. This is a big play in the game. And again, I like to see this Florida far more aggressively lined up here on this 4th and 2, playing man defense on the receivers, putting more players in the box. I'd like to see him be even more pressed up than this in the interior part. We've seen Florida get gouged against more successful power running teams from this. But I like that we're committed here. We're going to stop the run. We're going to come downhill, even if we're a little more passive than I want to be. But we win here up front. Nice surge. Nice surge right here, taking out. If you're Florida, you're occupying that double team. You're taking out space. Cox holds the edge. Great job there. And then he comes in and makes the tackle. Hold the edge. Come and make tackle before getting blocked. Let your friends rally and put him down. Nice job there from Florida on 4th and 2. They were very successful in short yardage situations in this football game, largely because they were committing to stopping the run rather than playing with one arm tied behind them back, sitting in a too high shell, or essentially just giving a team those 2 yards. So good to see that change in mentality on this particular game. After Florida's turnover, it's 1st and 10 for Kentucky. Couple of good things to look at here. Florida playing press man up top with Helm. Let's start by looking at that. Okay, we know right now the receiver's outside the numbers, which means we want to force him to the outside, and we want to have what? We want to have inside leverage using the sideline to help us. Let's see if Helm gets that done. And he does. Also, he starts with a right-hand jam. Don't like that. Let's not go with a right-hand jam. Then he corrects himself here, and he gets the left hand in there for the crossbody. Right hand, left hand. Okay, now I'm good. This is good. Nice crossbody jam, left-handed. He is now 1 at the top of this route. He's now on top of it, and that route is dead. They're not going there anyway, but it's dead. Great work. On the bottom of the screen, we have Jason Marshall. He's playing man, but he's playing off against Wan'Dale Robinson. He is now inside the numbers, so he wants to make sure he can keep Wan'Dale moving inside of him. He wants to play outside leverage, so that way he has safety help. So he wants to stay outside of Wan'Dale. What's nice about what happens here from Jason Marshall is he's going to widen his route way to the sideline. Marshall's going to stay on top of that. There's no chance he can reroute him inside here. He needs to stay on top of this route and force him as far wide as he can because he won't have safety help. That's precisely what he does, and he is in excellent position here. This is textbook position. Arm on him, head turned, playing the ball. Of course, the safety can't help. This has to be an absolutely perfect throw to make him pay for it. It's not. That's excellent defense here from Jason Marshall, who I think is taking strides each and every week on film. 2nd and 10 for Kentucky. You'd like to see a more committed fill from Florida. Again, Kentucky's going to go heavy in the box. We talked about how they'll frequently use their their wide receivers to block from this situation. They're not going to do it here, but on film, they'll have him even pull and do all sorts of other fun things there to help out in the run game. It's not going to happen here. He's going to just decoy and run a route like an RPO. Trey Dean reads this correctly. He's going to be the key player here. He reads this correctly, but he's just a little late to the party. Check how he stops his feet. He's going to stop his feet, slow down in the gap. He's going to wait, and then he's going to get taken for a ride. And that's not what you want to do. Look, Trey Dean could make an excellent play here and turn 2nd and 10 into 3rd and 7 if he trusts his read. His read is right. You come fill the gap right here. You fill this gap. You meet him in this gap. You hit him. And then you're in good shape. You're going to get a nice stop to this play. Instead, he waits. He's playing passively. He's coming in too easily. He's waiting for him. He waits for the contact. And you have no momentum, and that's how you get taken for a ride. So as opposed to it being 3rd down and 7, Kentucky now picks up almost 10 yards. Now a super crucial 3rd and 2. Again, it should be 3rd and 7 or 8. It's going to be 3rd and 2. This snap is going to hit the ground. Somehow there's no instant replay on it. It's hard to tell live, but there's still shots of the ball pretty much just laying on the ground. Is he controlling it? Is he not? I don't know. I think kind of on the HD zoom, which I can't give you here, this ball hits the ground. Either way, Florida, right, not quite comfortable with what's going on. We have some confusion lining up here. We're pointing at people. People are looking around. We've got Trey Dean jumping around up top. Look at him jumping. Snap hits the ground. Florida's going to bring their edge pressure again, despite the fact that Kentucky had primarily been running interiorly. He drops the snap. We don't even really know what this play was going to be, but if I had to guess, it was going to be a toss out here to the running back based upon how he's flowing. The same kind of toss play we had seen before. There it is. And if he does run the toss play, this is going to be a first down. So one more time. Let's see. If he runs the toss play, here's Moon. He's out of the play. There's no chance we're getting to it from here, and we're locked up here. That's going to be a first down. So it's a good play call by Kentucky. Gets blown up by the snap. It doesn't matter because Levens gets the first down anyway, even though I think that ball hit the ground. 2nd and 5 in the red zone now, 13-10. Florida needs to stop, really needs to hold Kentucky to a field goal. The responsibility, of course, of the edge defender is to hold the edge. Florida's done a great job of this since David Turner took over. They rarely lose the edge nowadays. It used to be something that was done far more often and frequently. And Jeremiah Moon here is going to lose the edge. This is going to kill Florida on this play. Is when the ball is snapped, you're going to watch him shoot inside. Here he comes. He's just stepping inside across this face right there of the right tackle, and that is not good because we have no one else helping. We're locked up here in man. They are not looking into the backfield. They are not helping. And this move here is going to end any chance of Florida stopping this by stepping inside. He's actually hurting. The stunt there from Dexter. Dexter can't get there. And then Hopper, who's stuck in this gap here. There's the fake. He's in that gap. He can't get across either because now he's being blocked in. Essentially, Moon made himself a wedge that took out both Dexter and Hopper with one swift move. There it is. Whip. Pushed, blocked, owned, out of the play. Now, was he doing that on his own accord? Probably not. Given what's going on here with the action, it looks like Florida wants to run this and this. Can I know that for sure? No, I can't. But they get caught in a bad play at the wrong time, and that leads to a walk-in Kentucky touchdown. 2010 Kentucky, Florida on the ropes. 2nd down and 3 for Kentucky. In games past and years past, Florida's been unable to get the stop on defense when they need to keep Florida in the game. They must get a stop here. They cannot allow Kentucky to get any kind of score. After a first down run of 7 yards where things don't look promising, Florida's defense is going to bow up here. Kentucky again going with what could be a 9-man. Of course, he's questionable. He could be a receiver. He could be blocking, but going with what looks to be a 9-man box here. Florida countering on their own. Shy 1. Right? Florida's countering shy 1. They have 8. So this time Florida's booking up for it. I like the formation here. Florida being aggressive on 2nd and 3, not just giving it to Kentucky. This battle is going to be one up front, though. A lot of depth here coming from the linebacker. He's pretty far off the ball. It's Diabate. But this play is won by Dexter right here in the middle, who blows up the center. Look at this, driving him back 2-3 yards in the backfield. And then he gets his arm around him and makes a tackle there on 2nd and 3, setting up a significant 3rd down for the Gators. 3rd down and 2 now. Florida trying to get the football back. You can see Kentucky's been just 1 of 7 on 3rd downs. It's a great mark for Grantham's defense. Not something we typically see on these film breakdowns. Something I do love highlighting on film breakdowns, and one of the reasons I like doing it so much is to be able to show progress and improvement. And here we have Cox, a guy we've seen on film reviews, typically doing great things, but oftentimes, especially in the beginning, and not often anymore, but in the beginning, he would be susceptible to losing his edge control, trying to make hero plays, getting too excited and flying in and leaving your job to do everyone else's job. And nowadays, with Kentucky designing this play almost exclusively for him in this moment, hoping he would take this bait, he does not. There's the play action fake. He rolls out. Now Cox is coming like a missile here towards Levis. Levis really has a play he likes as his tight end is uncovered and wide open. No one's there. This is an easy throw. Not an easy throw when Cox is in your face. Cox makes this play happen. Takes away the throw from Levis. Levis cannot convert. Florida gets a huge stop on 3rd down and 2. You can see the excitement right here. How does this feel to get this stop? How important is this stop? Right there. Let's go. Let's go jump man. Let's get that stop. Good job defense. Nice work by Trey Dean on covering the low throw. Of course, Florida, again, does miss this here. He's open. He's wide open. But Cox was the key to making this play work. If Cox loses discipline and he comes in here, as he's done, again, seldomly is the better word, not often, seldomly, then this play doesn't happen. I thought David Turner, as I've said many times in these film reviews, has really gotten this defensive line to play solid, fundamental football. If they make mistakes, they tend to get corrected very quickly on film. I've seen it, I've chronicled it, and it's great to watch Cox making a big play in a big moment here in this game. Unfortunately for Florida, obviously not enough, as Florida would get the ball back and not go on to score to tie the game. This was, of course, one of the better defensive film breakdowns we've done. Does that mean that I think things will be different for Florida against future opponents that have better offenses? No, I don't, but I do think you have seen real differences from position coaches themselves, and we've mentioned that on this very broadcast. With that, that's going to bring this film review to a close. As always, if you like the content, subscribe to this channel. Until next time, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast.